What's up guys, River Manny here. I'm going to record my 4th video. Still getting some great responses. You guys seem to really like the video, so I'm glad to hear that. So this is going to be on how dropshippers actually make their money, regarding, the business and stuff, and also on how you can maximize your profits and stuff like that too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright guys, this is going to be on how do dropshippers actually make their money. So if you're a noob and you don't know how it works, I'll just explain it to you briefly on how it works, right? So you're basically the difference between a customer and a supplier. You get to keep the difference between product cost and shipping and what you sell it for on the site. Step 1 is your customer places an order from your online store. You make the online store and everything, you make it look pretty and everything, you make it look branded as possible, right? Step 2 is that your store automatically sends the order to your dropshipping supplier, right? So you fulfill the order via Oberlo or whatever fulfillment service you're using. Step 3 is your dropshipping supplier prepares your customer's order because you've sent them their details and everything automatically from Oberlo. And step 4 is your dropshipping supplier will ship the order directly to your customer. There is pros and cons to the business model, okay? So since it's low barrier to entry, right, there's going to be low startup cost and everything. You got lower risk, zero inventory cost. Obviously you're going to be kind of less committed because you're kind of spending less money up front, as opposed to, say you were opening up a brick and mortar like 20 years ago or something, right? You're going to be spending a lot more on you're going to be essentially just carrying more risk in that. So the beautiful thing about the world we live in today is how easy it is to start a successful online business. With that being said, so you're not tied down to wherever your inventory is, right? So that's one of the beauties of dropshipping, is technically you could work on your business from anywhere in the world. Discussing the cons now is that you have a shit ton of competitions because it's lower barrier to entry, so lower startup cost. So a lot of people want a piece of the pie and a lot of people want to get in, right? And that's okay, right? You just kind of have to adapt and outwork your competition is essentially what it is. So yeah, you have a lower margin as opposed to buying the product in bulk. What I mean that by, so say for example you're buying a single product for $20 and you sell it for, for example, $60 or something, right? You get a $40 margin, plus you got ad cost, and then you buy the purchase for $20, right? So you got $40 there, $20 in advertising cost and $20 in product cost, so you net $20, and not to mention payment processor fees, and not to get into the details, but say you net $20. That's an example for that. And say for example you buy 30 units of the product, right, for $10, for example, right? Well, now you're making more money. However, the risk is in the fact is, are you even gonna sell 30 units? So that's just risk, and risk you have to take as an entrepreneur. But yeah, so lower margin. And you have little to no customization. Let me give you a little tip here, right? So if you know your graphic design and you know your way around Photoshop, these little things are gonna help you going into dropshipping nowadays, because you can customize, your product photos, your pictures. You can make them higher quality and everything, right? Even with the videos and stuff nowadays, right? If you just add, a little bit more love and detail, more than your competition, well, it's going to take you a long way, and you'll see that in your results. So the devil is in the details, guys, so make sure you're kind of paying attention to those things, right? You want to make sure it's literally as optimized as possible, just to basically ensure that you have the best chances of success. As rising Facebook ad costs are becoming a thing now as the space becomes more and more competitive. More and more people are starting off dropshipping, right? So you need to be basically on your A game, right? And then you need to decimate the competition, is what I'm trying to say. Moving on, so sales are not profit. That being said, so you're gonna see a lot of ads nowadays where it's like you'll see a guru or something, right, for an ad, and then they'll be like, oh, look at this here, I'll show you an example, right? They'll be like, oh, look at that, 20K or blah blah blah, with the focus, right, in like a month or whatever, right? But you don't know how much they spent on ads, you don't know how much they spent on product costs. Just the Shopify screenshot does look pretty and it gets your attention, right? But don't fall prey into that. You gotta be smarter than that. You gotta watch who you're taking your advice from. Make sure you're only taking advice from people who've done what you want to do before. You're left the difference between your ad cost, your product cost, and I mentioned all these before, right? So these are all just business overhead costs, basically. With that being said, obviously, you should be focusing on needle moving tasks for your business. All right. You don't want to get hung up on order fulfillment and customer service. Let me touch upon customer service in a bit. The key here is an excellent team to back you up. You don't want to get caught up in the busy tasks. So what I mean on needle moving tasks is scaling up your Facebook ads profitability. So this is front end work. Front end work, it's you're driving high quality traffic to a high converting landing page, right? So you want to make sure you're scaling it up profitably. You want to make sure you're profitable from the beginning. I've seen a lot of people preach that you don't have to be profitable, build up data first, and then you can be profitable with lookalikes. Nah, fuck that, right? You want to be profitable from the get-go and from the start, right? Because I'm assuming since you're starting up from lower cost, or it's a lower startup business model, so you generally probably going to be starting up with less capital. You want to make sure you're profitable from the start and you're making money from the get-go. Another defining factor here is that you want to be improving your back-end sales. So big key here is your SMS text sent to your customers. So you want to be collecting your numbers, your customer numbers and stuff, so that way you can send them text and stuff, just in case they leave something in their cart, and then it only takes like 20 cents to send a text to that customer, right? And if they have $160 left in their cart and you get them back, so basically you just spent 20 cents to acquire a $160 customer back, right? That's pretty good. Another big key here is email marketing. I'm not going to be honest, I don't know how to do much email marketing, so I usually outsource that. I usually just hire someone to do it for me. I recommend Klaviyo, because that's what's worked for me in the past. And also retargeting your warm audiences on Facebook is going to be a big key here. You're going to be making a lot of money from that. Not generally a lot of money, but money consistently is what is a better return for it. You're pretty much, since like the audience has pretty much already connected with your website and they kind of already know, right? You show them the ad again, they're at a higher likelihood of purchasing, as opposed to the cold traffic which have never seen your brand or anything of the sort. Increasing your average order value. So what I mean by this is, you can add apps like frequently bought together or something. You just gotta make sure you're playing it right. When you add that kind of app or something, you want to make sure that you're not adding a bunch of fucking random different apps or different products, right? You want to make sure that the products are kind of catered in and they support each other in a way. They're closely related. It makes sense to buy them together. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, moving on. So optimizing your conversion rates. You want to make sure your site is fast, right? You don't want to make sure your site is slow, right? Because people's attention spans nowadays are just they're really short. So if it takes a long time to load, they're just going to click off and you no longer have them, right? So remember, we are competing for people's attention, basically. So you got to make sure that's just ties into your marketing too. You got to make sure that's good too. It's kind of like a whip of stuff. So like a mix of things, in order to achieve these sales consistently and profitably. As I said before, I was going to touch up on this, the customer service part. You want to make sure your customers are having a great customer experience. So you could even follow up with your customers and stuff, right? You'd be like, okay, how's the product? How's it doing, right? It's kind of hard to do that with the dropshipping because sometimes the product is shitty. It's genuinely shitty. So with that being said, you got to make sure your customers are they're at least taken care of in a way, right? Like you're gonna have long shipping times, for example. Make sure you're replying your customers right away, and they're just being taken care of in the nicest and possible way. They're gonna be mad, of course, right? But just do the right thing, right? And yeah, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, but like sometimes I have these clients, right, and they're not even fulfilling their orders, and then one time I had a client and then we scaled to like fucking 25K and he was like, okay, I'm ready to fulfill orders. Like, dude, what are you doing? It just ruins that for everybody. So guys, make sure you're fulfilling your orders. And by the way, yeah, that store did end up dying because we got wrecked by the page card, which was completely his fault. So make sure you are filling your orders, guys. Moving on, can make a lot of money dropshipping, yes. Alright, but I'm gonna say this, right? The most important thing I can tell you is, treat it like a business. Please treat it like a business if you're genuinely looking to be successful. I mean, the way this kind of space and this industry is marketed is it's a get rich quick scheme, and that's exactly how a lot of noobs are taking it, and that's exactly why they're not seeing the success that they think they would have saw in a day or two. Right now, you can't just throw up a store and just you gotta treat it like a business, right? Treat it like a side hobby, right? Or something you do for fun, and you get paid as if you're doing it for fun, right? Treat it like a business, work on it every day, feed it your attention in detail, and watch your hard work pay off. It's kind of just, you reap what you sow is generally what I'm trying to say here. Alright, I know what you're thinking, because this is what I was thinking when I was kind of watching these videos. So yeah, people do get lucky in the space, right? But I don't count on it. I mean, luckiest that I've seen is people get like a 10K day in like their second week of drop shipping or something, and they get really lucky, but don't count on it. Automatically go in with the assumption that you're not gonna be one of these people, right? I wouldn't count on it, right? I'm not trying to be negative or anything. I'm just trying to be realistic. Don't complain how hard it is. Just simply adapt and overcome your competition. If you're truly willing to get it, then you'll get it, right? If you want to be successful, right, you just got to keep at it, right? You got to keep on testing, keep on making sure your store is good, your customer service is good. They're all factors that tie into together, right? And at the end of the day, you reap the reward of what? You make money in your sleep, right? You can make 3-4 grand by the time you wake up, right? So moving into 2021 and beyond, it's September 2020 right now, so decide it how you will, but customers are getting smarter and smarter, and they're getting a nose for what looks legit and what doesn't. So yeah, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Yeah, this is how dropshippers genuinely and actually make their money. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Peace.